were 2 LGAs, Holroyd and Auburn, and Granville as well. What does this look like next? We came up with the idea of going, okay, what does it look like to switch Holroyd, Auburn perhaps, and any other group, CCFC, into something that's together?
I'm Steve Gardner. I serve as a senior minister at St Paul's Anglican Church in Canterbury. Generosity, gospel generosity, and a generosity of spirit can be really transformative. It was never about just meeting together for the sake of pastors surviving. We wanted it to be about the kingdom and doing things that we couldn't do alone. It's not all perfect. So what, again, I found is, because this is a highly organic thing, it's very flexible. And our plans, we started with very solid plans and goals. Some of them have exceeded our expectations, others have faltered, and momentum's really slowed. So it's a constant process, I find, of discerning what is God doing, how can we build trust and do our bit, and adapt our plans where needed.
Put together, the purpose of CCCM is Christian churches and ministries in and around Cumberland coming together, celebrating, representing and proclaiming Christ by partnering together in fellowship, prayer, ministry and mission. We look to collaborate with local community entities such as local government, education, police and aged care facilities where possible to be ambassadors for Christ in our local community. Now, at the moment we've got a few subcommittees that are already happening. Peter Blaney, and he's been serving faithfully and heading up the Holroyd Ministers Fellowship, but also is the chair of the board of the SRE at this point in time in the Holroyd section. So that's a subcommittee. We've got Royd in here, he's part of the community events side, and that's a subcommittee which has been under Auburn Christian Churches but is coming under the CCCM umbrella. We also have Meredith and Michelle Burns looking at a civic connections. And we have the Mayoral Community Prayer Dinner. That's another subcommittee, so that's separate, but absolutely we've got the Mayoral Prayer Dinner, which is a subcommittee, a group that meets to plan that every year. We've also got a chaplaincy group. Andy's part of the chaplaincy group that's starting to form to understand how do we look at who is doing what across the LGA and to even expand what opportunities there could be. We've had a discipleship day a couple of years ago, and Bruce and I were part of that. So we want to explore what that looks like. That's the two key ones that we really want to look at, and is pastors networks. What does it look like to grow trust, like Steve said? What does it look like to understand how do we develop trust and love for each other that maybe we can explore moving into things that we haven't explored before? And that's something I think we've had good impact in the past in Auburn and in Holroyd. We definitely want to take this seriously and go, yes, let's see how we can work this through and understand each other. This isn't a cut and dry, like this is what it looks like. We want to explore that. So if you've got questions and thoughts around that, I'm happy to talk about that. I'll try and go, okay, let's bring all of this over here with the many things I've just said, and let's try and shove it under one umbrella, whilst trying to bring 3 LGAs together, whilst trying to look at multi-ethnic and mono-ethnic churches, and then try and understand how do we develop oneness between the churches. How do we develop networks of people who are across such a big area? I mean, on a bad day, it can take me 40 minutes to get from one side of this place to the other. So I'll name it. We're looking to build pastors or leaders networks, and it depends on the network and how they want to do it. But I'd like to see pastors networks to develop over the next couple of years, because as Steve said, and I think it's true, that as we develop, pastors can potentially be a place where they've got their own stuff on, they're trying to understand what it looks like, but coming together and understanding trust and oneness will hopefully open up the doors for our people who are in the community.